Hey, what's good? It's your boy Hog here with the Heads Real podcast. Now we about to check out this situation on Megan Hall. She was working for the police department and she was dropping in like it's hot. You know what I mean? She was giving that booty to everybody up in that police station. Now she wanna cry wolf because, hey, she been exposed. You know what I mean? You can't cry wolf when you're sitting there throwing it back, open it up. You know what I mean? And then the whole time you had a husband and a family. Then you go home and give your husband a kiss in his mouth. Oh, you know you wrong. You know you nasty. Hey, let's get into it right here.
Ooh, you even cuter than your baby pictures.
Thank you.
Oh, honey. You know we can keep it all in the family.
A 20-page report has been completed into sexual relationships at the Laverne Police Department. Some happening while officers were on duty and at work.
Doing something while you're at work, I mean, for everybody else who goes to work, we're held to that same standard.
Jerry Howell says he was in disbelief when first reading the report and wants changes from city leaders. The investigation says Mayor Jason Cole got the first tip about the relationships.
It's just bad. It's like a stain, I guess.
We requested an interview with Mayor Cole, but was told he was not willing to talk on camera. Instead, he released a statement saying in part, "We will be retraining all of our employees in the rules, regulations, and expectations set forth by city leadership."
It'll be a wake-up call for Laverne, but also a wake-up call for our police department to take care of themselves.
Keith Bice says he would like to see the community step up and help oversee the police department.
Just a couple of bad apples does not make the whole bunch bad.
Department. 5 officers and the police chief all fired.
One of those officers, Megan Hall, became the face of the scandal and the target of nationwide ridicule, and she's now filed a federal lawsuit.
Tonight, in an exclusive interview with our Nick Barris, Hall describes a toxic workplace behind closed doors and how sexual misconduct spiraled out of control.
Megan Hall was 24 years old when she was hired as an officer here at the Laverne Police Department 2 years ago. Her plan was to have a career in law enforcement. She now knows that dream is likely over.
I remember while interviewing for the position at Laverne Police Department, they described the environment as a family. However, while I was aspiring to protect my community, the Laverne Police Department was not protecting me.
By now, most of the country knows what happened. Hall, 4 other officers, and the police chief were fired last month. This after 2 separate investigations found that Hall engaged in sexual activity and/or shared intimate photos and videos with several male officers. The chief and 2 sergeants were among those implicated. Now Hall and her attorney, Wesley Clark, are suing those 3 supervisors and the city in federal court for civil rights violations.
Megan wasn't looked at like a rookie cop to be trained and promoted. She was looked at as a piece of meat to be sexualized and exploited.
Since the story broke, Hall, the lone female officer fired and only woman on the second shift, became a target nationwide for sexual jokes and taunting.
I received harassing and threatening messages on my phone daily. I felt like I had been terrorized.
And yes, now she is suing. No criminal charges have been filed in the case. Hall knows there are those who will say she was a consenting adult who willingly participated in sexual antics in violation of police department policy, and that now she wants to blame others, including one sergeant who targeted her early on.
I know what most people are saying. You could have said no. I get it. But my response to them is that I did say no, and he wouldn't take it for an answer. Eventually, I gave in from pressure.
So it's not as easy to say she could have just said no.
She did say no on several occasions. Miss Hall tried to get out of this relationship, and she was not allowed to.
Hall concedes she participated under duress. She's not saying she was raped, but adds that the salacious details made public of sex on the job put her alone center stage and do not tell the whole story.
They isolated me, they shunned me, they accused me, and they blamed me for becoming a victim.
Hall suffered from depression to the point of considering suicide and at one point was hospitalized. She felt trapped.
My supervisors worked together to take advantage of my vulnerabilities and my mental health. And they used it for their gain and sexual pleasure.
And that included the police chief, Chip Davis. The independent investigation found he was aware of what was going on and even received intimate photos and videos of Hall.
Who do you even turn to when the chief of police is sexually harassing you? How could I get justice when the entire system, including the chief, not only condoned such behavior, but participated in it? I was lost and I felt alone. I had no one to turn to, and I had nowhere to go.
Hall now realizes her career in law enforcement is likely over, and she knows those ugly memes on social media will remain forever, her reputation sullied.
No woman should ever have to endure this type of abuse. What happened to me during my employment at Laverne's police department, it should never happen to anyone.
Hall now hopes to put what happened to her here at the Laverne PD behind her. She is married and says she has a strong family support system and says that it was her faith that helped carry her through the turmoil. Nick Barris.
So now she filing a federal lawsuit. I'm like, how in the hell you filing a federal lawsuit for a scandal? The only scandal it was you was giving up that booty to the chief, to whoever you wanted to give it to, which they were black that you was giving up booty to, but then you was married, so I don't understand why you wasn't honoring your vows, going home kissing your husband, your little family at home, but then your husband, he a white man, then when he find out about it and everything is out in the open, you want to go ahead and put it out there and go ahead and cry wolf like it's 1942, you know what I mean? Hey, but ain't nobody believing you. They know that you was dropping it like it was hot, making them cheeks clap. You was down. You was down for whatever. To try to get that position, get that sergeant position, to try to climb them ranks. If you knew it was a problem at that police station in Tennessee, you would have moved around. You would say, this ain't right. I ain't gonna put myself in this situation. You know what? You was down. You was down for the town. So, hey, this your boy Hoghead with the Hate Is Real podcast. Get it, your boy. Yeah. Like, subscribe, comment. Hit that like button. Hey, this your boy Hoghead with the Hate Is Real podcast. Now let's get into this shit right here. Yeah.